I think the least surprising part of this story is the fact that Fox News and their anchors really have no shame or dignity, no ability to feel embarrassed about their behavior or their sycophantic bootlicking of Donald Trump. But it is rarely that something like this happens where they are lauding Donald Trump. Oh, he's such a great leader, and he's a new sheriff in town, and he's looking at it from a 30,000 foot view, talking about the troubles that are now taking place in the stock market. By the way, the stock market closed on January 17th, which was the last day of trading of Joe Biden's presidency because the inauguration happened on a weekend. And it closed at like 43,500 roughly. And now we're dipping into the 30,000 territory, like 39,000 something, 40 in the low 40s. It's down substantially since Donald Trump took office. Since Donald Trump took office, we were on a meteoric rise in the stock market, record after record after record with Joe Biden. And by the way, none of this is super important if you don't have stocks in the stock market. The stock market isn't a one-to-one comparison. It doesn't map on relative to how the economy is doing. But, you know, it's a metric that if Donald Trump wants to place importance in it, we're going to look at it. We're going to talk about it. But what's remarkable about this clip that I'm getting ready to play is the fact that she is talking about all those things I said, the new sheriff in town, and Donald Trump's such a financial whiz. He's not looking at this from the day to day. It's a 30,000 foot view, and he's luring in new money. He's going to make us all wealthy, all this nonsense, while on screen, the market is cratering. Just in this one clip, it goes down like more than 100 points. It is them bending themselves into pretzels, just twisting and contorting themselves and their logic and their ability to explain away what is taking place, up to and including what Larry Kudlow's been doing, calling this the Biden economy. And we're months into Donald Trump's presidency, ignoring the record job creation and the on-fire economy, bringing us back to be one of the strongest economies, if not the strongest economy in the world, coming out of COVID and the inflationary nonsense that everybody had to deal with, not just the United States. Globally, inflation was a problem. And because of the Inflation Reduction Act, we got it under control a lot more rapidly than other countries. But anyway, watch this. It just happened a couple hours ago. Watch Maria Bartiromo really doing some work to try to explain away what's happening while on screen it is all red.
But President Trump is looking from 30,000 feet above. He expects a disruption. He said that the other day, sure, we'll have a disruption, but we're okay with that. And I asked him that in the interview as well, what other disruptions might he expect? I think it's largely companies and investors getting used to a new day, a new sheriff in town, and that includes ensuring that America comes first. So, yes, we are talking about tariffs, and if you listen to the people who are against tariffs, including the Wall Street Journal editorial board, they'll say, well, ultimately, that cost is passed on to the consumer. But President Trump's pushback on that is just what you heard, that he is luring huge investments into America, and the rest of his agenda is deflationary. Remember, you can't just look at tariffs in a vacuum. He's also hoping to extend the tax cut, so cutting taxes. He's also tapping into the energy capacity in America. That he is expecting to produce growth. And he's also getting wealth back to America, meaning he's already had commitments of $2 trillion from large, deep-pocketed investors to corporations to invest in America. President Trump's message was very clear to me when I sat down with him last week, and that is build it here. And the point that I made on Laura last night that you referenced, Bill, is the fact that things have changed quite a bit in the world. It is a dangerous world out there. And President Trump's main priority is to protect America. And what I mean by that is there are things that Americans rely on that are made in a supply chain in adversaries' countries. So when you look at, for example, semiconductor chips, advanced semiconductor chips, which are very much needed for our military, for drones and advanced technology, those chips are made in Taiwan. Now, if we're all talking about China and Taiwan, and should China go into Taiwan and take over?
What's great about this is, if you look at this, this chart for the past 5 days, or we could just look at it for the past month, just 1 month, to Maria Bartiromo, it's like, oh yeah, that's bad. But if you just do this, then the chart goes up. Everything's fine. But what I want to talk about is a couple things in there. One, she's like, well, I asked him about what Maria Bartiromo is essentially doing here is acting as though her job is that of Caroline Leavitt, that she's a spokesperson for the president, that she's explaining the policy. She's the Trump whisperer here. New sheriff in town. I asked about what other disruptions. You asked, he did not answer. That's an interesting way to explain Donald Trump not giving you a definitive or even a general answer about what other disruptions we might experience with his economy, with his tariffs and his destruction of American growth. This entire thing about luring wealth to America and this $1 trillion worth of investments into the American economy. Do you remember what took place with SoftBank and Foxconn and their commitments of the hundreds of billions of dollars they were going to invest in the state of Wisconsin? And the state and the municipality there, they through eminent domain, they took people's houses. I don't know how much was paid, whether it was a fair market rate or they screwed them, but all of that investment money just went away. They never followed through. There was a big to-do about the announcement, and then it went nowhere. They left this town high and dry. And again, one of the companies, SoftBank, that they're acting as though it's going to $100 billion or more that they're going to invest in projects in the United States. It's the same company that screwed that town in Wisconsin. So what are they talking about? And this energy claim that they constantly talk about and bang on about, we were producing more domestic energy under Joe Biden than at any point in the history of the United States. And they're acting like it wasn't what it was, and that Donald Trump is going to do that. But he's not doing it. In fact, what he's doing, as witnessed by that clip, it's the destruction of the American economy. It's the destruction of the stock market in real time while she touts the behaviors and policies of Donald Trump as though it's a winning recipe for America. Is it? Is it a winning strategy? Are we? And now you're seeing this is, oh, I'm not even paying attention to the stock market. That's not what I'm looking at. He's not looking at it when it's tanking. He only looks at it when it's going gangbusters. He's taking credit for the stock market during Biden's administration because he called it the Trump stock market. But now that it's his stock market under his administration, he's not paying attention to it. Or it's Biden's fault that that's going down. Make it make sense. Anyway, real good time. Little schadenfreude, little delight in the misfortune of the idiots over at Fox News and Donald Trump. Obviously, this is bad for, individual stock owners. This is bad for people who have retirement accounts tied to the stock market. I own very little stock, some mutual funds or something. I don't have anything to do with it. It just gets picked by my whatever company I go through. I know so little about it, I can't even talk about it. Anyway, what do you think? I'd love to know. You can join this conversation in the comments below. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Consider becoming a channel member right here on YouTube. You can click the join button below this video and see what's involved. You can go to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Great ways to support this work. You can also go over to dollemore.com and get yourself a sticker, a mug, a tote, some merch. All that goes to help support the show and our production costs. I would appreciate it very much. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore, and I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.